Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will be introducing you to an app called Pixellab. So here is how the app looks like. If you look at my screen, there is an app called Pixellab, and for the sake of this video, I will be using the pro version of Pixellab. So let's get to it. So this is how the pro version of Pixellab looks like. This is how the default screen is with this new text at the middle. I'm just moving it around. So we are going to be taking everything step by step, and we're going to be starting with the top part of Pixellab. So when you look at this top part, the first thing you see is the plus icon, then the save button, then the share button, then these two marks there, exclamation mark, the three ellipses up right there, the pen icon, delete button, back arrow, this is the zoom, this is the grid, and this is the layer option. So what does this first plus icon do? If you click on it, you can see a drop down menu which shows your text, your current date, ticker, shapes from gallery, and draw. When you click on text, it automatically adds a new text for you where you can write in whatever you want to write. Going on to the next one, if you click on current date, it shows you the date. At the time of this video, it is the 19th of August 2023. Alright, so the next is shapes. If you click on shapes, automatically it brings in a square for you. If you want to browse other shapes, you just go on and click right here. Click on this arrow, this face down arrow. When you click on it, you can see other shapes that Pixellab has, so you can see and you can pick from anyone that you want. So I'm just going to cancel this and then tick, and then we have a shape right now. So the next is from gallery, which is an import feature. If you want to import a picture, you want to import an element or any of your resources, you can click from gallery and it automatically takes you to your gallery where you can import from. The next is draw. If you want to freestyle, you can just scribble anything in your Pixellab. You can pick any color of your choice and scribble something on it. You can increase or reduce your pen size. This is a big pen size. You can also deal with the smoothness of your pen. If you want it extra smooth, if you want it rough, anyhow you want it. So if you draw something, let's say like this circle I just drew it now, if you want to fill inside, you select. If you want a dashed line, if you want a neon effect, that's if I select the fill inside now, let me reduce my pen size, then I'm going to draw something, and when I draw something, it automatically fills itself inside. So if I go to dashed line and I draw something, anything I draw is going to be in a dashed line. Let me use another color so we can see. Dashed line. Good. So then if I go over and select the neon effects, if I draw something, let me select another color. You see it gives it that. Let me increase my pen size so that we can see it more. So if I do this, you can see it gives it that neon effects. You can also make it an neon effect and also a dashed line, like you can see. Good. I guess we are learning something. So there is a blur radius. You can also use that as a feature, and you can see as I'm drawing this new dashed line, you can see it has a blur effect to it. So that is that about that. Then let me undo. You can see there are three buttons, which is the back arrow tool for undo. The second one is to make it to originally go back to the way it was before, and the third one is the eraser tool. So we have three different tools. The first one is the undo button. The second one is to go back, like to reset it, and then the third one is to erase something. Alright, so let's revert it back to how it was before and move on. So I guess we are done with the first plus icon. Then the next is save. So you can either save as a project or save as an image. If you want to save as a project, it's something that is automatically going to be saved in Pixellab, like in the app on its own. Let me show you something. At this lower icon, the lower section of Pixellab, here is written my project, and if I click on it, wait for some seconds. After I click on it, here you can see all my projects done using Pixellab. If you're just new to Pixellab, you might not have anything here, but I have been using Pixellab for quite some time, so I have a lot of projects right here. So that is that. And the next one is to save as an image. Once you select to save as an image, you save it automatically to your gallery. Here you can adjust the format. Either you want it in JPG, that's JPEG, or in PNG, or you want the dimensions to be custom, low, medium, high, very high, or ultra. I actually recommend from at least high to ultra. I recommend using any of these three, so that at least gives your image a good quality. And once you're doing that, you can set your custom dimensions and then save to gallery or share to any social media platform of your choice. The next button, as you can see, I guess we are quite familiar with this button, is to share. That is a share button. So once I click on it, I can share, quick share to any of these social media platforms, and I can adjust the image format and also adjust the quality of that image. Alright, moving on to this one here. Moving on. This one is actually a cool feature of Pixellab, and once I click on it, it contains quotes. So we have quotes in English and in French. You can select any one of your choice, but I understand English perfectly, so to be on English. And under the quotes, we have motivation selected, but if you click on the down arrow, you can see quotes on success, friendship, happiness, inspiration, positivity, absurd. So you can pick on any of them and then select any of the quotes you want. They can be very useful in any design. I wonder whether you want to create a Monday motivational post or a Friday post or any post at all. You, as a graphic designer, you can just decide to make use of any of this. Alright, then the next one, which is these three dots, the last one up here. Once you click on it, you can decide to use image from gallery. That's if you want to import, it's also like that. You can click on it. Then the next one is full screen. As you can see, this is full screen. If I want to go back, I just touch this right here. Sorry. Yeah, once you just click on it, you can go back. Then use image from camera. If you want to take a picture that you want to design with real quick, you can just select it and it just opens your camera for you, and you just take a snapshot and start your design. The next one is to export an image. It does the same thing when you want to save and when you want to share. Well, the next one, let's look at it, deals with image size. Let's say you have a dimension. Let's say you want to design a particular size of a banner or a business card, and you can see the default size Pixellab uses is a square, which is just a normal square which can fit into maybe like your Instagram. But if you want to design a YouTube thumbnail or a business card, you have to select the size customly. But even if it's not a custom size, you can click on this drop down arrow and you can see the square profile picture. It also already has the ones for YouTube channel banner, a YouTube thumbnail, a Facebook cover art, Google Plus, and what have you. So let's just cancel this. The next is if you want to report a bug or you want to contact the makers of Pixellab, you can click on the contact us / report bug button. And the next is tutorials. If you need to be familiar with Pixellab and you do not have any way around it at all, you can click on tutorials and it automatically takes you to YouTube, where you can get connected with YouTube channels that have people that are familiar with Pixellab and have done incredible works. We have the remove ads, the recover autosave button, which is actually good because the one thing about Pixellab that I want you guys to know is once you design something and you leave Pixellab, once you come back, it automatically shows you the last design you were working on, and it will give you to bring out a box for you and ask if you want to recover or if you want to cancel. I think if you start designing, you'll see something like that. Then open PLP file is to go to your project, just like my project that day. If you click on open PLP file, it automatically shows you your projects that you have designed with using Pixellab, and just like I've showed you before. Yeah, so moving on, then we have the about. If you click on it, it tells you about Pixellab, and the exit button if you want to leave Pixellab. Alright, so let's move on to the second section of this top part of Pixellab, which is this area. So yep, this arrow icon, once you click on it, is for something that is selected, and in this case right now is this square that is selected. So you can either select a text or select an element, which is this square. So let's select an element, which is this square. So once you click on this is to edit whatever it is that is selected. So you can either copy. The first is to copy, so the square has been copied. Let's undo that. Sorry, I'm moving faster than myself. So this is selected. If nothing is selected, this actually just goes off. But once it's selected, it comes back up, and then I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about. If I deselect something, this icon, this area, if I deselect something, I deselect the square, it goes off. Hope you are looking at it. Yeah, so if I select it, it comes back up. So once I click on this barrel icon, you can copy. The next is for a relative position. Don't worry, I'll show you more of that later. This is for the size. Sorry, the second one, let me show you. This one is for the size. So once it's selected, you can increase the size of this square. Yeah, that's what it's for. The next one, which is the third one, this one is for a relative position. So once I select it, relative position, I can either position the square in the middle, at the left, at the right, down, up, to the center, to the middle. So that is what that feature is for. The next one is to rotate. So I can rotate it at any angle that I want. The next is to move to the front. Next is to move to the front or to move to the back. Let me show you how it works. So let me increase the size of this square. Okay, let me just undo everything and increase the size of this. So this is actually in front right now, and it has covered the text, but they both have the same color. So let me give this square a color. Don't worry, I'll show you guys how it is done. So I've given it a color right now. So once I come here, this is the front and this is the back. So I've taken it to the back. So the next is the undo button, which we are quite familiar with. I've just been touching it. The next is the zoom button. You want to zoom in or zoom out. That's what it's for. The next is grid. If you want to work with grids, they are very important. You can make use of them. The next is layers. It shows you what is down and what is up in this area. In this design that we are just trying to make out with. This is the square, the new text. This is how it follows each other. So this is first and this is last. Alright, so moving on to the down section of this work. The first one that has 3 circles, once you click on it, I've showed you my project, and then we have different presets here that you can use. This is what shows, this is what autosave does. If you click OK, anything you have done will be lost. So let me just click OK. So you can see different presets are under here. You can just make use of any one of them that you want to use. Also, the next is click on this A icon. I will just be speaking them out so that you follow with me. This A icon, once you click on it, something has to be selected. If nothing is selected, it's going to be showing you to add a text. It's going to be showing you to add a text or add a quote, anyone. So in this design, we're going to be adding a text. So once you've added a text, you can see more features have appeared. And the first one is styles. Once you click on it, you can browse styles. Pixellab has some styles that are already here. I do not have any styles, so these are the default styles, and if you click on it, you can select any style you want and work with it. And you can decide to save any style. Let's say you create anything and you want to save it, you come here and you click on save. The next is edit. You can edit your text and write whatever you want. Let's type in something real quick. Graphic design. Good. So we have something typed in. If you want to reduce the size, you just click on this little dots at the left hand side, and then the one at the right hand side is to drag it out. The next is delete. Anything that is selected will be deleted, so let's undo that. The next is copy. You can copy whatever you have that is selected. You can take it to the front, to the back. I guess I've showed you that with the shapes. We have the position, which enables you to move your text or your element to any position that you want. You can increase the movement by dragging this. You can just increase. You can see that this graphic design is at the back of the new text. So that is what this feature does. Relative position, I've showed you guys: left, right, up, down, center, middle. So yeah, that is what it does. The next is size. If you don't want to use this left dot to increase the size, you can just click on size and increase or reduce the size of your text or your element. The next is padding. Let me reduce this so that you see what padding does. So if you click on padding, left padding allows you to create a gap at the left hand side of your text, and the right padding enables you to do that at the right side of your text. So that is done. Then we have color. You can give your text any color that you want. This text is it has a style on it, so let's get a new text. Let's get a new text so that we can be seeing all the features that we want to see very, very clearly. So okay, let's give it a color. You can give it any color that we want. You can use gradients and give it any gradient for color that you want. You can also create any one you want. Then for texture, you select the texture, and then when you go to your gallery, you can pick any picture that you want for the text. So I'm going to pick this picture. I'm going to use it as a texture for my text, and you can see it automatically gives it that texture. So that is that about that. The next is opacity. You can reduce or increase the opacity of your text or elements. Just note that this applies to also an element, but in this tutorial I'm making use of text. But if you have a picture or any other resource you import into Pixellab, you can use these features too. So moving on to the next, we have opacity, and you can reduce and increase the opacity. We have rotate, and you can rotate your text to any angle of your choice. The next is mask. Once you enable it and you play around with stuff like this, you can mask it in or out depending. Don't worry, I will teach you more about masking. The next is fonts. Pixellab Pro comes with a lot of cool default fonts that you can pick from and make use whenever you are designing. So let's just pick a random font. So this is cool, and you can use it for anything you want. So we have style. The first B is to make the text bolder, the second is to indent it, the third is to underline, and the last T with a cross is to undo everything that you just did. So then we have the curve feature. You can bend the text the upward or the downward way, anyhow you want it. The next is background. You can add a background behind your text and give that background any color of your choice. You can also deal with padding, the left and the right padding. You can also give it a top padding, a bottom padding, and give it a radius of your choice. Alright, moving on. The next is to align. So we have left justification, middle justification, right justification. Once you do that, like if you have a body of text that you've written, you can make use of this feature. Then we have spacing. You can space your words or crumble them together depending on the kind of design that you are creating. Then we have line spacing. If we created something that has 2 lines, let's edit this text and write something else. New text again. Okay, so if you use line spacing, you can see what it does to that. Good. So then we have stroke. You can give your text a stroke, and you can give your stroke any color of your choice. You can increase the width of your stroke, yeah, like so, or you can reduce the width of your stroke. The color of your stroke can also be a gradient color, depending anyone that tickles your fancy. Then we have the shadow effect. You can give your text a shadow, you can give your shadow a color, you can increase or reduce the opacity of your shadow, you can blur the radius, you can give it an outer glow to make it pop out more, you can give your shadow an offset both in the Y and the X axis. So that is that. The next is an inner shadow. You can also give your text an inner shadow, and that shadow can also have a color, and you can also edit it the way you edited the other shadow. Then we have the emboss feature, and then we have perspective, and then how you bend your text. You can play around with this feature in any kind of design that you feel that you need to do this. The next is the 3D rotate, which allows you to rotate your text in any axis, 360, both in your X and your Y axis. That's cool. And we have the 3D text and the 3D shadow that makes you to give your text a 3D shadow, and the shadow you can give it any color that you want, and also play around with any of these features. That is that about that. Then we also have the reflection, which enables you to give your text a reflection. So that is that about the A icon. Let's undo everything that we've done and move on to the next. While the first one, which is the A, allows you to edit anything that has to do with a text, the second, should I call it a hexagon, has to do with elements. So that is why once you click on it, you see stickers, import, draw, shapes, bezier, or arrow. It allows you to edit with any of this. The import has to do with you bringing in a picture that needs editing. So in this case, we are just going to make use of shapes so that you know you see what I'm talking about. So now I've selected a shape and I'm going to give it a color, let's say red, and that is it. You can also give it a stroke, anyhow you want it. You can increase and reduce the opacity of it. So, and you can give the stroke any color of your choice, and you can blur it anyhow you want to design it. So now we have selected a shape. Let's play around with it. The first thing we have to do is, if you want to edit the shape, if you don't like that it's a square, you can come over to edit and pick any other shape of your choice. So, and then the next is to delete. If you want to delete it, so let's just undo that. If you want to crop it, you select the crop icon and crop it to any size that you want. You can copy the shape, you can take it to the front, to the back. I've showed you the position, relative position, size. Most of these features are the same features that have to do with the text. So we have color filters, which is not in the text icon. So once you select color filters, you can give this your shape a color by playing with your hue, your saturation, your brightness, contrast, and what have you. And then we also have stroke. I've given you a stroke before, but that if let's say it's not a shape you are dealing with, let's say it's a picture, you can give that picture a stroke. You can increase the stroke width and all of that. After that, we have the eraser tool. It enables you to erase any part of that element that you don't want. It can be a picture that you do not like. You can increase the size of your eraser so that you can be able to erase more. And then the second option is to blend. Let's say you want to blend, then you can just be cleaning it, so you can see the effect is giving it, so that you not just erase it and it becomes too sharp in your design. You just erase it, enable the blending option, and then erase like so. Alright, let's move on to the next. The next is mask. We had mask in our text, and then we also have mask here too. And you can see you can always create, don't worry, there will be a video about masking. So let's move on to the next. You can also erase color. If you don't like a particular color, you come and use this eyedropper tool, select the color that you don't want, click good, and then the color automatically goes off. So I selected red, and that's why we can't see red again. So if I click on it and I select another color, maybe this blue, and I click, the blue is gone. So this is actually very cool to get rid of something or a color that you do not want. Alright, moving on to the next, we have rotate. We have done that before. We have 3D rotate. We have also used this feature before in our text. Perspective, shadow, inner shadow, and emboss. Moving over to the next, this area has to do with the background. So once you select the color, it helps you to change the color of your background to any color that you want. As you can see, you can either use the color or you can use a gradient, which is very, very cool. The next is if you want the background to be transparent, you just click on the transparent icon and the background automatically becomes transparent. That's cool. The next is image size, which we have talked about, reducing or adjusting the background to fit into the image size that you want. There is the custom, which you can type in any figure that you want, or you click on the drop arrow and you select whether it is for a YouTube thumbnail. You can either select the size from here. Okay, then the next, the scrub icon isn't available, is not enabled in the background feature. Then we have image, in case you want to select an image, and Pixellab has different images that you can use as background here in case you want to use any one of them. And then the next feature is from gallery, which enables you to go to your gallery and pick whatever picture that you want to use for your background. Then we also have from camera, if you want to take a snapshot of what you want to use for your background. Then the last feature has to do with effects. The first is rotate, which enables you to rotate your background. The next is the vignette, and you can see the feature it gives to it. You can increase or reduce the alpha. Then you can also give it any color that you want. Then the next is noise. If you enable it, it gives noise to your background. It gives noise to your background, and you can play around. You can enhance it, you can increase the alpha or reduce it. The next is stripes, also deals with the background. You can add, you can increase the alpha, reduce it. You can also repeat the strokes. So then we also have brightness. You can play around with it in your background. And then we have the contrast button, which enables you to also add other effects to your background. So these are the special effects that Pixellab has created for you. So this is the everything about using Pixellab. I hope you learned something from this video. If you did, please do well to leave a comment, like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I love you all. precious souls. Bye.